Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our second Dharma Family Service in the third month of 2021, that is March. We'd like to begin. Let's start with Kansho and recite the Nembutsu together. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda. Okay, we'd like to begin with Sutra chanting, and we will chant Juseige, and we'll have the text on the screen. Namandam, 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 namandam. Kagoncho segan hishimu jodo shigan fumanzok seifu joshogak gaomunyoko Fuidai Seshu Fusai Shobingu Seifu Joshogak Gashi Jobutsudo Myosho Chojippo Kukyo Mishomon Seifu Joshogak Ryokujin Shonen Joeshu Bongyo Shigumu Jodo Isho Tenin Shi Jinniki Endaiko Fushomu Saido Shoujo Sankumyo Kosai Shuyakunam Kaiichi Egem Meshi Konmoan Heisoku Shoakudo Tsudatsu Zen Shumon Koso Jomanzok Iyo no Jippo Nichigatsu Shujuki Tenko Pugem Ishu Kai Hozo Koseku Dokuho Jodai Shuchu Seppo Shishiku Kuyo Isai Butsu Gusoku Shutoku Hon Gane Shitsujoma Tokui Sangayo Nyobutsu Mugechi Tsudatsumi Fusho Gangaku Erik Toshi Saisho Som Shiganya Koka Daisen Okando Kokusho Tenin Touchin Myoke Namandabu 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 Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda. Okay, thank you. Next, we'd like to recite the three treasures. And again, it's going to be on your screen. The three treasures. Hard is it to be born into human life, now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the Buddha Dharma, now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves your supreme will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord in your life of harmony in a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriad ages of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of the Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, namanda, namanda. Okay, thank you, everyone. Let me hold on here. Welcome to our second Dharma Family Service of March. Right, so it's the second service of the third month. And if I can pull it up here, I want to talk a little bit about something. Got to remember to go back to the beginning. And I got to do this. And I got to do this. Oh, let's see if it works. There. Hi, everybody. Hi. It's March. Again, in Japanese, March is the third month, and we do that too. So you might have noticed on YouTube, if you look at last week's service, instead of putting March 7th, I put 3/7, right? Because I'm talking about threes. And so, the question is what to talk about. Again, it could be the three B's or three Dharma marks, three baskets, three natures, right? We got all this different stuff I can talk about. But this time, I'm going to talk about the three B's. Bach, Beethoven, and Brahms, right? Of course, you thought it was going to be another 3B if I had not put up the picture before I said this. But these are three of the most famous classical musicians, right? And I think left to right is Bach. There's Beethoven, or Beethoven, as he's called by Bill and Ted, and then Brahms. And so, I grew up actually listening to classical music. I don't know. I never really listened to the stuff that was current. I always liked music from the past, right? When I was growing up and even now. And so one thing though is certainly Beethoven is one of my hair idols, right? And you can see him there, right? But if we really want to talk about hair idols, it's these guys. Deep Purple, right, from the late 60s and into the 70s, and they're even playing now. I actually saw them in 1985 at Budokan in Tokyo when Destiny brought them back together again, the classic Mark II lineup. But this kind of got me thinking. Remember last week I was kind of going back to the beginning, and so I wore my black wagesa, but today I'm wearing a different one. I'm wearing this wagesa that was given to me by Reverend Yamaoka. This is one of the first wagesas I ever had. These are the kind of the robes, right, that we wear as ministers. And so this one's really important to me because it is part of my past. And so I don't really want to talk about Bach, Beethoven, and Brahms. I really want to talk about the three times. The three times. And this is an important concept in Buddhism: past, present, and future, right? If we think about time, this is what we've got. Things that are in the past the present moment, which is only an instant. And that instant, when I snap my fingers, it's already passed, right? I can't even hear the echo anymore. And then the future, right? And we never know what the future is going to hold. So one way to think about the 3 times is to think about the past is already done. It's already gone. So don't get stuck in it. The future hasn't happened yet. So don't worry about it too much, right? The present is really the only moment that we have, right? So this is one way, one really important way that Buddhists often talk about the 3 times, the past, present, and future, right? This current moment now. Right? And I think that in the case of extremes, like thinking of getting stuck in the past, and one I can think of is Uncle Rico in Napoleon Dynamite. I should have pulled up a picture of him, right? That he's always stuck in the past. He's always reliving the football game from high school, right? And he's still videotaping himself, making the pass that he made when he was in high school, right? So stuck in the past. Yeah, don't get stuck in the past. Don't get too caught up in the past. Same with the future. If you're always worried about what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to happen next week, what's going to happen next year, I don't know, I'm so worried, right? Then you're worrying about something that hasn't happened yet. And just worrying about it isn't going to really make it better. If anything, I think it'll make us just more neurotic and worried, right? And so, yeah, if we're stuck in the past, then maybe we should try not to be stuck. If we're worried about the future all the time, maybe we should step back and realize, oh, it hasn't happened yet. What can I do now? But, those aren't the only ways to think about it. We can also think of past, present, and future in terms of like karma. That's a hard one. Maybe better would be like causality, which is cause and effect or cause and result. That's that's what physics talks about. When you do this, what happens? Right? Can we measure? Can we predict what will happen? Right? And that's what science does, right? Science is experiment, try and make this happen. And if you can do it again and again, then we realize, okay, there's something going on here. Right? And so cause and effect, right? That what I do now is a cause for an effect or a result in the future. And maybe what's happening now is an effect of something that happened in the past. So cause and effect is happening all the time. One of the difficult things is it's not only one cause and one effect, right? Every single instant, we're doing a million different things, right? And we're interacting with different people. And so it can be really complex. But if we think about cause and effect and think about how, things that happened in the past have results maybe now or even in the future. And things I do now will have results in the future. Right? So it's, some of this is maybe stuff that I can control. Other things are totally beyond my control. So I wanted to share briefly a story of something that happened. Skunk isn't here. I was going to have her as my support skunk. It's something that happened to me when I was young, right? And actually, when I was in elementary school, junior high school, college, grad school, I wasn't a great student. I had difficulties, right? I had difficulty studying. I think I had difficulty concentrating and focusing. I had trouble with deadlines and getting work done on time. And I kind of knew this was happening, but I didn't really know why. Right? I didn't know why I wasn't a good student. And no one really tried to help me that I really figured out. I think people might have, but I don't think anyone really knew how to help me. It wasn't until I was a senior in high school that I suddenly remembered being bullied in 2nd grade, right? That I'd actually gone away. I went with my parents. I was homeschooled for 1st grade and we lived in Germany. And so I was just with my mom like all the time. And then 2nd grade, we came back and I was really smart, but I wasn't good at studying. And I wasn't good socializing with other kids and everything. And so I was bullied because they put me in a 3rd grade science class, even though I was 2nd grade. And on one of the first days, these kids were like, there was like a terrarium in there and there were snails and they took them out and they're holding up my face. And I was terrified. So I like ran out of there, right? And forgot about it. Totally forgot that happened forgot that I was in that class. They let me just go into the other class and nobody said anything. Maybe they did, I don't remember. And I didn't remember any of this until I was a senior in high school. So even though I didn't remember it, it was still affecting me. Right? It was still having an effect on me, whether I was aware of it or not. Right? That's sometimes what happens to us. We have these things happen to us that are upsetting or traumatic, even. Right? I think being bullied is very traumatic, and so I blocked it. Right? It was really a scary thing that I had to revisit when I was older, maybe when I could handle it. Right? And then realizing, whoa, that changed me. Right? Even just realizing that had a deep impact on me. So one of the causes was being homeschooled, a bunch of causes. That's what causes and conditions are, right? It's not just one, it's a bunch of things. It was my father's job. It was my parents' relationship. The fact that my mom was an American citizen, but an immigrant, right? She was first generation Japanese, really. And, didn't grow up in the States, didn't know how to drive. It was really difficult. So she and I went with my dad to live in Germany rather than stay behind. Right? The kids in the class, all these different things were causes and conditions for my life at those different times. These causes and conditions can be all kinds of stuff, though. It's not only negative things. It can also be the wonderful causes and conditions of all the members of Buddhist Church of Oakland, for example, right? And the fact that we're here now is because, for me, the fact that I'm here now is because of Reverend Yamoka. It's because of Reverend Tai Unno. It's because of Reverend William Masuda. It's because of friends and family that I had back then, right? But it's also because of you. It's because of your relatives that help found this temple and take care of this temple. It's because of all the members that have been supporting this temple, right? So the past is my past, but it's also my family's past, right? I can look to my own parents, and the traumatic things that they went through had an effect on me. They're part of my causes and conditions, right? But also my friends, my community, all these things are interconnected in this present moment. So the past is important, I think, right? It's good to know the past. It's good to be aware of the past, not to be stuck in it, but to be aware. We also I went to a Dharma School, Bay District and Federation Dharma School teachers workshop yesterday. And they talked about racism and anti-racism, right? And when you learn about the history of racism in the United States, it's astounding. Some stuff I knew, other stuff I didn't, right? I was aware of some stuff and other stuff I was not. And we need to know about this stuff. We have to be aware of it because it is bearing fruit in the present, and it will continue to bear fruit in the future. Right? It affects so many people. So we're in this present now that includes the past. So this is from Berkeley Buddhist Temple. The past is the present. That's, I think that's it from Reverend Dr. David Matsumoto, right? They have a sign there. The past is the present is the present, and the present is the future, or something, right? Realizing that past, present, and future are connected, interconnected, right? And so our present includes the past. The past is having a deep impact on this present. And we also learned that systematic institutionalized racism is still going on right now, right? And a lot of that is due to things that were decided in the past. But decisions are being made now to let it continue. And so I think that to understand the present, you have to know the past, but also for the future, right? To know the future, to have an idea of what you want for your future, you got to know the past. Right? So for me, the future, you can be pessimistic. I used to be, I think, a lot more pessimistic, and I still am to a certain extent, but we can also have aspiration, right? We can aspire for something better. The Buddha aspires for peace and enlightenment for all without discrimination. And that's the wish of the Buddha, right? These are Amida's vows, right? The aspiration for the awakening of all beings that Buddhas have. Right? And so it's a pretty big wish for us, right? And I think a lot of people are just kind of pessimistic, right? And they're just like, yeah, whatever. But yesterday during the Dharma School teachers thing, they had, they asked people, how are you feeling? And a lot of people put hopeful, right? That I think, and that's how I feel too, in a way. There's a lot of barriers ahead, right? A lot of difficulties ahead. But why not? Let's aspire for peace. Let's aspire for happiness for everyone, not just a certain group, right? Why not? That to me is one thing that Buddhism offers us, right? It might seem pie in the sky if if you don't have any belief system, but if you're Buddhist, right, the ultimate Buddhist goal is awakening for all. That's what we say when we do Gannishi Kudoku, right? With this merit, Byodo Se Isai, equally for all, give it to all of them. Dohotsu Bodai Shin, that we all awaken, the mind aspiring for awakening and enlightenment and aspire to save all beings. Ojo Onnakok, and that we can all be born in Buddha's Pure Land, the Pure Land of Amida Buddha, the land of peace and bliss. I also want to thank you very much. Reflecting on the past, I think of things from my past all the time. Some stuff I don't want to think about, some of the stuff I'd rather forget, other things, realizing, oh, wow, yep, that's interesting. That has an effect on me now, right? So that I can understand my present, understand maybe some of the things that I do or some of the issues I have to work through, right? And then with the future, aspiring, not just for myself, not just for my family, but for all beings, ultimately, even though that's a really high bar that Amida Buddha and all the Buddhas have set for us. So I want to thank you very much. Why don't we conclude? And this is one way we can express our aspiration, is by reciting the Nembutsu, the name of Amida Buddha. So Gassho, please. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda. Namanda. Okay, and I would like to turn it over now to Jun Hamamoto for our announcements.
Hi, everybody. I'm filling in for Hondo today, so I'll do my best for your announcements. So the upcoming Buddhist Center for Education online events, and March 19th from 4 to 6 p.m. is Tai Tetsu Uno Memorial Lecture, special IBS event celebrating his life and accomplishments, featuring Dr. Ken Tanaka. And these announcements are also, Norm has kindly shared them on the screen here. Then on March 27th, from 3 to 12:15, Innovations and Challenges with Bon Odori Online, featuring short presentations by 5 BCA temples, followed by an open forum to exchange ideas. Then other upcoming events is on March 15th at noon is a 2-part lecture series, Ainu, Okinawa, and Indigeneity series from the University of British Columbia. So that's March 15th at 12. Ainu 150 Years of Resilience by Dr. Kanako Uzawa. And then the part 2 of that is March 29th at 5 p.m. Rethinking Okinawan Indigeneity, Articulation and Activism by Dr. Megumi Chibana. And the registration link is here in the notes. All of these events are on the BCA website, so you can find them there. Norm puts up all of the both community events and temple events and BCA events. You can find everything on the website. Then in May 15th, the Life Enrichment Program from 2 to 4 p.m. Features Chanting Han, author of Be the Refuge, Raising the Voices of Asian American Buddhists, in conversation with Dr. Funie Xu from San Jose State University. And more details are coming from that. went to the talk of Shenzing Han, I think it was at the Jodo Shinshu Center online. It was a really wonderful, thought-provoking talk. So I hope you can join us, and the conversation is with Funi, who's one of our members here at Buddhist Church of Oakland. Then we have the 200 plus club. The tickets are on sale now, and you can get them online. You can also do it, I believe, by mail. You can call in, mail, or send a check, or I think even drop off a check. Then there's, and the information is there up on the screen. Then there's the Obento sale, which is going to be the day before. It'll be on April 3rd. And you can order online. There's the form there. You can order online. You can pay online or by mail or by dropping off your check. The order deadline is March 24th, I believe. And pickup will be April 3rd, the day before, at 11:30 to 2. And okay, you can see your bushin or the website for that. Then a couple other things. There's this wonderful documentary by the BCA National Council meeting guest speaker, Regina Boone, about her journey to uncover the truth about her grandfather, who was incarcerated during World War II and disappeared and never returned home. So it's a really powerful, emotional documentary about her journey to find him, and takes her back to Japan and to meet some of her relatives that she had not previously known exists. So that's available on the NHK website through March 31st. And we could maybe put a link in there later. And then the Pet Memorial Service. We're going to send out an email this afternoon. I think Norma's sending out an email. If you would like to be part of the Pet Memorial Service, you can send your form into the office. And I think you can also possibly do it online if you can attach the form and send it online. And then next week, oh, okay, almost done. Next week is Ohigan service. So, so please make sure to join us for Ohigan service. And today, we are going to have Dharma Chat today, led by Reverend Bridge. So thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming, and please stay for Dharma Chat and come next week to Ohigan. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Let's have the virtual incense offering. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida. Namo. Okay, I'm heading back. Thank you, everyone. We'll conclude our service in a I'm back. Oh, I'm going to leave. There. Thank you, everyone. Why don't we conclude our service with Gassho. Recite the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida. Okay, and I will be ending